Did you know that emails are one of the most effective ways to communicate? Why? Because it's fast, cheap, easily accessible, and it provides an electronic data that you can refer back to when needed. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 mistakes that you should avoid when sending business email. This video is for both native and non-native speakers. So, let's go. So as I said, business emails. Let's talk about those mistakes, because remember, personal emails are very different from professional emails. So the first mistake you want to avoid is your email name. I cannot tell you how many times I see many people making this mistake. You want a professional email name. Don't use a name like sexyboo@gmail.com. Imagine sending in an application and the interviewer or the HR professionals go to their email and they see an application for an executive assistant from sexyboo@gmail.com. No, you want to keep your name professional. Now, it's best to use your name. You can use your last name and then your first name at Gmail or at Hotmail, at Yahoo, whatever it is you use. So, for example, you can also use a period. So you can say Jane Doe at gmail.com or jane.doe@gmail.com, Jane_Doe@gmail.com or doe.jane@gmail.com. You want to avoid using numbers. Now, I know in Asia, especially in China, they use numbers when they're giving like the QQ email. They use numbers only. But in the Western culture, we prefer names. And if a number has to be there, it will be after a name, like jane.doe82@gmail.com. So, first mistake to avoid is use a professional email address. Don't go making up cute names and nicknames. It's not professional. Mistake number 2 that you need to avoid. Do not leave the subject blank. When you're sending an email, don't send a professional email with a blank subject line. Personally, I do not open emails that have a blank subject line. One, I think it's a virus and maybe it's junk mail. Also, it's highly unprofessional. Putting a subject in the subject line also makes it easy for ease of reference when you're searching your emails and you want to find an email on a particular subject. So be courteous and be professional. And also avoid using all caps in your subject line. Do not use all caps. So make your subject short and to the point, but don't leave it blank. Third mistake you want to avoid is writing an email in anger. You don't want to write a professional email when you're angry because you're going to calm down and you may regret it. Because networking and building relationships is very important in the business world. So you want to take a breath, walk away, calm yourself down, write it somewhere just to get it out, but do not send that email. Don't send an email in anger because the tone of your email is very important. Just like I said, do not write all caps in the subject line. You do not want to use all caps in the body of the email either. So people can feel the tone of your email. So your words are very important and how you write it are very, very, very important. So keep your emails short, direct, to the point, free from anger, and be courteous and professional at all times. Fourth tip is do not overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate it. In fact, Use simple English. You don't need to have big words and big terms, big expressions. Don't overcomplicate it. Use very simple English, direct and to the point. Because you don't want to use words that you're not even sure about, and you may end up using them in the wrong context. And what you're trying to send may get lost. The message you're trying to communicate may just be communicated very differently than what your intention was. So, use simple English. Mistake number 5 to avoid: do not send an email without proofreading. Proofreading. Now, this is when you read your email again to check your grammar, to check if you're saying everything right, if you made any mistakes. You are a professional, so you have to act like it. Do not send a business email without proofreading. Sometimes, depending on what the nature of the email is, you may ask a coworker or your supervisor or someone just to look at it for you. So I like to say look at it with fresh eyes. Because you've been working on the email for a long time, it's good to have somebody else look at it with fresh eyes, just to see if you missed anything or made any mistakes. So let's recap the 5 mistakes that you need to avoid when sending a business email. 1, do not use weird nicknames. 2, do not send an email with a blank subject line. 3, do not write an email in anger. 4, do not overcomplicate it. Use simple English. And 5, do not send an email without proofreading. Now, that's the video for today, or the lesson for today. I'll see you in the next one. I'm your business English coach, helping you to speak English with confidence.